All right, just a quick second before I start. Please subscribe so I can get more views and more money. Thanks. Just before I actually get started, I know people are going to talk about LeBron. LeBron's not in the East. Raptors owner's gone, so that's how they got to the finals. No argument. I'm not going to say anything. Shout out to my boy LeBron James for leaving the Eastern Conference. You owned us for years. You owned the conference for years. People are saying Kawhi's the best player in the world. KD's best player in the world. Giannis is best player in the world. And if you're saying Giannis is, relax, because Kawhi owned him. He sunned him in the last series. So relax. But people are saying these other guys are better than LeBron James. If you ask me, I'm not going to say anything because of what LeBron James did. But honestly, ain't nobody care about LeBron James. Ain't nobody care about the damn Lakers. The Raptors are your freaking NBA champions. Okay, let's start off from the beginning. Let me just take you back to Game 1 last year of the Eastern Conference semifinals, Raptors versus Cavaliers. My reaction in-game can do a way better explanation of what happened than what I can say, so just roll the damn clip. Exactly. Millions of chances, no points. The Raptors choke Game 1 and then eventually get swept. But like I said, shout out to my boy LeBron for doing that because the whole season would be different if the Raptors don't get swept. So after that, what happens? The Raptors fired Dwayne Casey. Now, if you listen to people like Stephen A., they're going to say, oh, the Raptors are dumb. They fired the coach of the year. But if you actually watch basketball, if you actually watch the Toronto Raptors, you knew that Dwayne Casey kind of fell into a good situation. Not saying it's like Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr because obviously you get Kawhi Leonard, but it makes a big difference of what happened. So the Raptors hire Nick Nurse, changes up the culture a little, and then obviously they trade DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi freaking Leonard. Now let's just show the Chris Haynes tweet that Kawhi Leonard isn't going to show up for the Toronto Raptors and everybody laughing at the Raptors. But honestly, I don't care about 5 years of DeMar DeRozan. I don't care about the next 10 years of DeMar DeRozan. I will tell you at that time, I'll tell you at any time, I wasn't planning to be a diehard Raptors fan like I've been for the past 15 years of my life if we kept the same team. Because we knew what was going to happen. They were going to play great in the regular season and they were going to choke out in the playoffs. So I will take that 1 year of Kawhi, that opportunity at a championship, over having the same old Raptors. Okay, so the Raptors get Kawhi Leonard, and what do you know? He shows up. Honestly, I expected that. I don't know what people are actually thinking. This guy isn't going to report to a team. He was just frustrated with the San Antonio organization, but he's a professional. He showed up. And throughout the regular season, there's nothing really much to say. The Raptors play like how they usually do. Kawhi gets his rest. Some people were somehow complaining in Toronto that this guy doesn't play every game. I was like, relax. He's a playoff player. He's one of the best players in the world. You guys need to calm down. Just before we get into the playoffs, obviously this video is based around Kawhi Leonard, the greatness of Kawhi Leonard, but just want to give a quick shout out. Kyle Lowry, another all-star season, played great, did all the little things people don't see on the stat sheet and people just want to hate on him. Getting Marc Gasol at the trade deadline helped tremendously, spread the floor, great passer, one of the best big man IQ in the NBA. And then obviously Pascal Siakam going off this year, getting 100 times better. Most improved player by far. Get your D'Angelo Russell ass out of here. I don't want to hear none of that garbage. But yeah, so shout out to those guys. Obviously, they helped. And obviously, Siakam and Lowry, big parts of the team. But let's just jump into the playoffs now, the real games. They play Orlando and lose Game 1. Now, the old Raptors team probably would have folded and made this go 6 or 7 games. Eventually would have won. But definitely, they wouldn't have played how this Raptors team played. Kawhi Leonard absolutely took over after the Game 1. He had probably one bad game in the series, but he went off. Kyle Lowry played better after scoring 0 points in Game 1, and the Raptors win in 5. Then they move on to Philadelphia. Philly, great team, great starting lineup, we know. Most people picked the Raptors going into the series, especially after Game 1. Kawhi drops 40, Siakam goes off. And again, the Raptors somehow find a way to lose Game 2, and then they lose Game 3. If this had been last year's Toronto team or the Toronto Raptors team for the past 5 years, the series is over. They lose game 2, they lose game 3, they lose game 4, and they probably lose that series in 6. But again, who stepped up? Who hit that big 3 over Joel Embiid? Kawhi freaking Leonard. He hits that 3. The Raptors go on to win game 5. And then, they lose game 6. Philly, again, like I said, is a great team, so it's not really a bad thing to lose game 6. And then you come to game 7, and who hits the biggest shot of the season? It's Kawhi Leonard again.
Simmons, is this the dagger? Game, series, Toronto has won!
Next, you move on to Milwaukee. Again, this is the best team in the NBA. Even though they had a couple more wins than the Raptors probably would have had a better record if Kawhi played the whole season. But the Raptors go in, have a great game 1, lose. Game 2, lose. And again, I keep on saying again because I keep on focusing on the previous Raptors team. Down 2-0, this team might have pushed it to 5, but most likely would have got swept here because that team showed no passion. They had no strength. They choked. They were chokers. We all know that. The Raptors choked. Every team has an identity, and the Raptors' identity was the biggest chokers. But Kawhi Leonard shows up. Kawhi Leonard makes that game go to overtime, pulls it out in double overtime, pulls out game 4, and then goes off in game 5 in Milwaukee, and then the Raptors pull it out in a 6. This is all because of one player. Again, like I said, Kawhi Leonard. The whole team takes on his persona, his personality, and then they just show up. And now finally we go to the NBA Finals. Golden State Warriors. Obviously without Kevin Durant, but they're still the damn Warriors. They still beat the Rockets in 1.5 games. They beat the Blazers in 4. I know the Blazers aren't really amazing, but they swept the Blazers. Going into the Raptors series, they still were the favorites. People were still picking the Warriors with or without KD. The Raptors pull out game 1, lose game 2. This again shows the strength of the Raptors because leaving home with a split usually causes a loss in 5 or 6 for the Raptors. But they go on Oracle, win 2 games, and it's basically over. I don't know how this team changes persona that much. Obviously, they changed the roster with Kawhi and getting a guy like Marc Gasol, Danny Green, getting more veteran presence, a championship presence. But I didn't honestly think that this team would change that much. After that Orlando game 1, I thought this team isn't going anywhere. I still thought they'd beat Philly, but they wouldn't do much against the Bucks. They somehow beat the Bucks. They beat the Bucks. I still thought they would pretty much lose in 6 or 5 to the Warriors. And they just do what they just did against the Warriors. This team is absolutely special. Everybody's saying Kawhi Leonard is not re-signing. Honestly, I would take 5 years. I would take this one championship year over 5 years of Kawhi Leonard staying. So shout out to my boy Kawhi. Let's go to the reactions of the crowd on the streets after the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship.
Yo, them or us? Us, right?
One more game, bro. Look at the clock. Let's go! Let's go!
started from the jump. Living at my mama house and working every month. I was trying to get it on my own. Working all night, traffic on the way home. And my uncle calling me like, where you at? I give you the keys so you bring it right back. I just think it's funny how it goes. Now I'm on the road like a million for the show. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team. Yeah, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team. Yeah, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team. Yeah, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team. Yeah, boys to the stories about the men.